What's going on, everybody? Will with Tangible Triumph, Life, Inspiration, Motivation. I'm going to soar into a topic today that's a bit tough to understand and something that I've struggled with for a long time in my personal life and feel like I've improved a lot with over the past few years. You'll hear where I'm coming from in a minute. So, giving advice to other people sometimes could be one of the most difficult tasks that you set yourself up to do. I can tell you what, I'm not the greatest at giving advice in personal circumstances to where it's with people that are close to me. I'm very good at shutting off emotion, which could be perceived as being emotionless and not caring. That the whole idea of giving somebody advice and getting involved with things that maybe you don't fully understand but want to help be involved in and help the situation get better, you can turn into a critic very easily. So there's a huge difference between criticism and advice. We'll start with the tone of your voice. When you're giving advice to somebody, the tone of your voice isn't, well, you shouldn't have did that. It is, well, why did you do that? I don't quite understand what made you do this, but I feel like you could have done better. The tone of your voice and the choice of your words can determine the entire outcome of any advice that you are trying to give to somebody. I'm relating the advice thing to relationships in particular, because it's a good place to start. When you're trying to help the people around you, especially the ones that you care about, sometimes we can lose sight of that person's vision and who they are as a person because we're so connected that we forget that people grow, people evolve, people change. When you're giving advice, you have to have a soft tone. Now, we can also say that we don't want to be persuasive or convincing, but when you're trying to give advice, you're not trying to sell something. It's like a used car salesman. You get on the lot and all they do is nag you about why the car is so good and it needs to be bought because this is the car for you, right? We've all dealt with them and it's can't stand them. But when you're giving advice, you're not selling anything. You're trying to be cohesive and coherent and understanding. Have you gotten lost in the track of advice that you've given? Jordan Peterson says it, if your house isn't in order, who am I to judge? First of all, if any advice is going to be offered on my behalf, it's definitely going to have something to do with that I've already been through. You can't give advice on something that you have no idea about. So with that being said, when you're giving advice, do your best to understand the other person's perspective first before you even jump into anything. And you can actually develop a sense of heart just by listening first. And here's the tricky part. When advice is being given, you have to leave the past where it is. Speaking of the past can blow the wind out of the sails almost immediately and turn any good conversation into something extremely negative. We're supposed to cooperate with each other. We're supposed to help each other. Relationships in particular are supposed to be cohesive. Try not critiquing, but rather give advice to those around you that you care about. When you start actually giving genuine advice, I promise you, your life will change. Because on the flip side of that, you'll be able to understand the advice that's being given to you. With that being said, it's Wednesday. Let's get over hump day. Let's do great today. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate all the views that we've been getting. It's phenomenal. Tangible Triumph soaring high at this point. And everybody that's tagging along, thank you. Thank you for being there. All rivers lead to the same ocean. Just don't swim upstream. Not today. Never. Peace.